madness has arisen from this ongoing drama of false consciousness, and many of the perils arising from its obstinate perpetuation. What follows are scenes from this late-period episode of the human comedy, and like much comedy, they could not be more serious. Chapter 1. Et in suburbia ego. Giovanni Boccaccio, Decameron, first day. Thus it came about that oxen, asses, sheep, goats, pigs, chickens, and even dogs, for all their fidelity to man, were driven away and allowed to roam freely through the fields where the crops lay abandoned, and had not even been reaped, let alone gathered in. And after a whole day's feasting, many of these animals, as though possessing the power of reason, would return glutted in the evening to their own quarters, without any shepherd to guide them. In March 2021, the 13th month of the COVID confinement, the peepers, in their vast multitudes, sang out again. Down in the swampy wetlands below our house in the Hudson Valley, millions of Pseudacris crucifer, cross-bearing false locusts, but actually minute frogs, puffed up their air sacs and warbled for a mate. At spring for you, the peepers are so tiny, an inch or so long, you'll never see one, no matter how carefully you creep up on them. Their blown-out songbags are nearly as big as the rest of them. It's all they are, innocently inflated peeps of expectation. They're not alone. In recent years, the soprano peepers have been accompanied by a bass rhythm section, wood frogs, Lithobates sylvaticus, a tattoo of deep quacking, punctuated by raspy burps. They and the peepers survive bitter winters by means of antifreeze cryoprotectants stored within their bodies. When ice crystals begin to form on their skins, their livers flood the bloodstream with glucose, sending vital organs like the heart, its beating paused, into a dormant but protected state. 70% of the frog's body water can then freeze without compromising the organs that will magically reawaken in the spring. To help matters, wood frogs can recycle urea through their urine. So if you were to come across a wood frog in deep winter or expose a tiny peeper beneath the leaf litter, their sparkling jelly rigidity would lead you to assume they were dead. A twist from your fingers could snap a leg, so don't do that. For as the Hudson Valley light goes pearly in the afternoon stretch out, the superficial body ice of the frogs melts away, and along with that decrystallizing resurrection, wild singing begins. At first, a mere tea-time tuning up by scattered vocalists, but by sunset building into a massive chorus, an entire Albert Hall full of peepers. There is always mating business to be getting on with, and only a month or so to get it done. Quick, quack, peep! The teeming amphibians ecstatically multiplied, even as much of humanity sank into another engulfing wave of infection. It's a commonplace, but no less true for being so, that the empty desolation of cities, the grim, still silence of lockdown streets and squares, was offset by the irrepressible burgeoning of nature. We saw it, the budding and blossoming, the buzzing and butterfly fluttering on our walks in parks and on heaths in our gardens and on windowsills. The cheek of nature, impervious to our fearful distress, flaunting the sociability of its flocks, gaggles, and mysteriously choreographed starling murmurations, the avian corps de ballet. For a while, back then, the grounding of jets and the stilling of traffic scoured away the rusty scrim of pollution from the skies. Avians replaced aviation. Ruby-throated hummingbirds were seen in unprecedented numbers around Kennedy Airport, their tiny wings beating...